Okay. What's his name? Way in the back.
Alex.
Alice. Did you have turkey?
No, I did not have turkey.
Did you hang out with the family?
I hanged out with a girlfriend.
You have another girlfriend?
Well, she's
Your back must not hurt anymore. You're not crippled anymore?
a little bit.
So how'd you get a girlfriend?
It's a long story.
Ooh. Yeah, we have time. And so are you like mentally able to deal with a girl right now?
Good question. Yes and no.
Meaning what?
Meaning, I've got other priorities right now, right, besides the girl right now. Right, so things have changed dramatically the last couple months, so it's
For the good, things are better?
way better,
Oh, nice.
way better.
Right on. It look like, how old are you? How old are you, Alex?
Oh, I'm 60 plus.
60, what?
60 plus.
What age is that?
60 plus.
What's a plus?
30 seconds plus.
Is that? Oh, and then you and your girlfriend trying to kiss. Did you kiss her? Oh, good morning. Can you imagine being old and trying to kiss? Or, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Alice, I can't even imagine that.
What?
I don't think God like that.
God like what?
For an old man and a woman to be kissing. Here's the seat. Oh, okay.
It's normal.
But I don't think God meant for us to date and kiss when we're old.
There's no rule that says Alex can't date in his 60s.
I know, that's the problem. It looked like God, that's why God made the woman that had the baby really early. The man made babies really early, like when you're 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and you start stopping at age 29. It seemed right. Am I right about that? No? Am I the only one? Because after a while, your body starts falling apart. Can you imagine trying to kiss somebody and you got arthritis?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I do have arthritis.
Right, see?
And I'm not
You like,
denying
oh,
it.
don't hold me right there, that hurt.
I'm not denying it.
When you're like 60, you should be playing with your grandchildren and great-grandchildren. You'll not be trying to have a girlfriend having a boyfriend. If you haven't gotten over loneliness by 60, you ain't gonna get over it. What do you think about that, Joel?
Well, I didn't think about it until you started saying it.
Yeah. Can you imagine Joel having a girlfriend at 60?
We'll see.
Okay. All right, Alex. That's crazy. Your knees hurt, your back hurt, and you got a girlfriend.
My situation has dramatically changed in the last couple months. I could do many things now.
Amazing.
Many things. And
We don't want to hear.
it's okay. Just
Right on. Well, good for you.
I've come from the gutter to quite well.
I know. I noticed you definitely came back alive.
And I'm right now just recovering from my surgery, so that's why I'm with a cane.
Ain't that some
Well-
surgery, arthritis, and a cane, and a girlfriend?
Well, it was a triple hernia.
Well, we won't get into that. I was going to ask, how does a person find a girlfriend at 60? Like, are you living in an old folks home?
No, I'm living at home. I have my own apartment.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Welcome. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm Jesse Peterson. Thank you all for being with me. You can get involved by going to our YouTube chat line. And Hate will pass on the question and comment. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. How y'all? Amazing. Everybody full? You say yeah? Oh yeah. Did anybody have sweet potato pie or candy yams? Right on. The real people. Anybody had pumpkin pie? Shame on you. A pumpkin pie is a fake sweet potato. It's like, well, anyway. Any questions or comments? Anybody had a life this week? Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, I have some questions. I was in your show during the week, and you always talk about thoughts, and so I've been trying to look at my thoughts more.
Right on.
And you say that they're all lives all the time. All thoughts are all lives all the time.
Right,
And except for the practical ones, though.
right.
And I always feel
Practical
like
mean the ones that tell you to get up and go to work, you know, you want lunch or dinner, blah, blah, that kind of stuff.
right. And I feel like I keep getting thoughts, and some of them are practical, and I keep trying to it's tiring having to sift through and always pay attention of what's practical. Is that practical? Is that just a thought?
What do you mean having to sit through them?
By sift through them, as in, I feel like practical thoughts and thoughts that are not mine come in at the same time, or they come in right after each other.
I don't understand. A lot of people are making this difficult. Practical thought just simply mean the thought to tell you that you're hungry, or the thought to tell you it's time, you need rest. I mean, it's not you don't get that many practical thoughts all day, do you?
I don't know, but
You don't know?
I don't know if they're all practical. They're not all practical,
Right.
but it's tiring having to figure out what's practical and not. And I guess what I'm asking is kind of when I want to, should I get into okay, now I'm thinking practical, now these thoughts will be practical because I'm thinking about this one specific thing in order to kind of keep it at bay, or do I just let it all come and then that's practical, that's not practical, that is, that's not?
Anybody else having that problem with the practical thoughts? No? I don't know. What?
If it doesn't make sense, I
Like
guess
this
we just
morning
move on.
when you woke up, you knew you were going to the fellowship, right? The practical thought told you you're going to the fellowship. At some
Yes.
point you decided that.
Yes.
And once you realized you were going, you didn't need to think about it anymore, right?
Right, but there were thoughts that I had that it was should I take this route, but then I might be late? No, I should take this route, but then I might be late. But I like that route because it's more scenic and nice, so I'm going to take that route. But, that wasn't practical because then I might have been late.
Why is he having a problem with practical thoughts?
Sorry, Ryan.
No, that's fine. We'll help you out.
Thank you, brother.
I mean, the reason why he's having a problem with it, I don't know. It seems to me just from what I'm hearing that it's just a little bit of a lack of understanding of what you mean. You told me once, if this helps, Jesse said to me once, yes, but as long as you don't identify with it. So, in other words,
That's a good point.
yeah.
Go
Right?
ahead.
You know what I'm
No,
trying to say.
finish your point.
Well, I mean, it's just if you're going to eat and you say, maybe I'll go to this restaurant because that's what I'm craving. But then once you go beyond that and start going, yeah, but maybe what's his name's working there. And once you do all that, then you're gone. You're not practical
Right.
anymore.
It's like when you want pig feet, right? You're like, well, I want some pig feet with black-eyed peas, cornbread, and some, yams on the side. Once you decide that, you don't have to think about, well, what color pig feet I want, how many, and blah, blah, blah. You don't get into all that, do you?
I don't know. It's hard to answer with that analogy, but sometimes I do, and I sometimes feel like I'm usually making decisions more last moment.
You're too, so what do you? Oh, yeah. You're too involved in thoughts, even practical thoughts. That's what it is. You're now trying to, on your own, God decides the practical thoughts for you too. Don't worry about it. If you're like really into it, as he was saying, you're still trying to figure it out yourself. You don't worry about it. If you know that you want to go to the meeting and you're going to take the 10 freeway going west, that's all you need to know.
Can I ask you a follow-up question about identifying with thoughts?
Yes, him or me?
You.
Yes.
So you say not to identify with these labels and thoughts, and I agree with that. But then I also felt like I kind of took it too much the other way. And then when I do something or that I didn't want to do or whatever, and I say it wasn't me, then I kind of absolved myself of all the responsibility of it. And that's not something that was flying court. Like you murdered this guy, it wasn't me.
Well, do you like commit crimes or something?
Sometimes.
Oh, you do?
I do.
So if you commit a crime, you can't absolve yourself of that because you know you did it. So expect to go to court. But if you had not committed a crime, you're into all these thoughts, then you're not responsible for that.
But even if it's not a crime and it's something immoral or something that's just bad for me, I should still not identify with it, but then I should still take responsibility for it?
No.
But then
The only responsibility you need to take, you need to practice seeing those thoughts. That's your only responsibility. You need to practice being aware rather than lost in your head, thinking about the past or the future, what's going to happen, what has happened, and blah, blah, blah. That's the only responsibility you need to take, except for getting up every day, functioning on earth, going to work. If you want to hang out sometime, hang out, blah, blah, blah. But you're not responsible for the thoughts.
Okay.
You're responsible to see them, practice being present.
But I am responsible for what I did in the past, no?
No. Unless you robbed a bank or something.
Unless it was a crime.
What?
Unless it was a crime?
Right.
Okay. All right.
And even that, you're responsible to the law of the land for that. You're not responsible for the crime that you committed because it wasn't you. You were influenced and didn't know it. Mm-hmm. Something was working through you. Remember how you killed your wife and you buried her under the house? And nobody could find her? Everybody like, where's Louise? And you're like, she's on vacation? That wasn't you doing that. Now, if the law found Louise under the house and you have to go to jail, you got to go to jail, but something else made you commit the crime.
Okay.
That make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. Don't get it all. Don't be so into thoughts about practical thoughts or any thoughts at all. Keep it simple.
Okay.
All right?
Noted. Thank you.
Amazing. Okay.
Amazing.
Nice. Anybody else? Let me take here and then there, and there. Okay. This is relaxed. It's Thanksgiving. We're all full. I may even belch. Forgive me. Just relax. We're kind of winding down the year now. Go ahead.
This is a Bible verse that's related to what he's saying. If that's,
Okay.
So you remember when Jesus told Mary Magdalene, go and sin no more? Wouldn't that be relevant to what he's kind of saying about things that he's doing?
100%.
It just made me think of that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is render under Caesar. So if you commit a crime under the laws that aren't God's, you're still going to have to pay the price.
Right. You're subject to the law of the land.
Can you explain that first quote? I don't understand how that relates to what I said.
Well, because you were worried about your sin. You were in your head about your sin. And that's what Jesus told a woman like Mary Magdalene,
Well, Mary a slut.
she was a prostitute, and they were about to stone her because that was the crime. But that
Mary
was
was
a
a
religious
prostitute?
crime. She was.
She was a slut.
Okay,
They
fine.
didn't have the word slut then.
For the sake of communication, as
Oh,
you say,
okay.
yes. But she was about to be stoned under God's law, actually. And then Jesus came and he told her, okay, you're good now, but don't sin anymore, basically. So there's nothing else to think about. Maybe just try to focus on that.
Yeah, don't be into thinking about your sins, because the devil used that against you too. You just want salvation of the heart. When you get that heart right and you practice being present, everything's going to work out by itself. It really will. All right? Okay. Did you have your hand for that?
No, I just said my...
Oh, okay. Yes, Ricky.
How do you get rid of your morals?
How do you get rid of them?
You just throw them away, or you just you turn out of the Bible and don't pay attention to it
That's
anymore?
a good question, man. The young lady right here want to tell you.
Okay.
How do you did you get rid of your morals?
I don't even know what my morals are.
Right.
So
Did you get rid of those?
I don't know.
You don't have any morality?
I don't know what my morals are.
Right.
So I'm glad he asked, because I don't even know what my own morals
Did you
are.
know you're supposed to be getting rid of them?
Yeah, I
Oh,
remember.
okay. You knew that was the
Yeah.
assignment, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
but you didn't have it, so that was none to get rid of.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a really good question. Young lady here want to respond. And then these two young ladies dying to respond. Did you get rid of your morals, your morality?
I'm still working on that.
And are you getting rid of them?
I think, like Christy says, I'm still trying to figure out, because I think the last time we had this conversation, I thought that I had morals, or still kind of do, but I'm seeing that that's...
You still think you have some?
I go back and forth, but I realize that that's not right, so I'm working on just letting them go.
Right on.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Are you happy being an immoral person?
No, I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, this is the thing, right? You think that having morals, because we're all brought up to be raised to have good morals, right? To be a good person, to not lie, to this, to that, and to sort of do right and be right. But now I'm realizing that I'm not supposed to have morals. So I don't know. I'm still working it out.
Okay. Amazing. This young lady wanted tell him how to get rid of his morals.
I think it comes with some self-judgment of judging, giving maybe a right or a wrong answer in your head about what to do, because I feel like the minute we say we would never do this, we end up in that situation.
Yeah.
Like almost the minute we say it, we're lying. And so I think that we're giving validation to these thoughts. And I think that I think that we're just basically, as soon as we think we understand something about ourselves, that we're deceived. We're still deceiving ourselves.
Amazing. Does that help, Frankie?
Oh, yeah.
This young lady want to add to that, and the young lady right here dying to add. I see it all over you.
The first thing that came to mind was the theme for the year, Want for Nothing. I've been focusing on that because it just helps me realize that I just have to take a day by day, second by second,
Yeah.
and that's how you just drop your morals.
Are you feeling better?
I am.
It was a good meeting Thursday.
It was, yeah.
So you're feeling better?
Yes,
Meaning what? What's
Free.
feeling better?
Free.
Yeah,
yeah, and not having a conversation with the imagination.
right on.
Yeah.
Nice. Have you gotten rid of your morals?
I don't really think that's the question that I ask myself,
Why not?
because I realize that morals are something that are imposed on us from outside forces.
Yeah.
It's what society decides what we should be doing. So basically, if you just live for your own self or your own standards, or live with the principle of do what makes you happy but harm no one, I think if you come from a place of that, your focus will not be so much on what people are imposing on you.
Amazing.
So I don't really struggle with
Get
that.
rid of your moral about thinking that you have them. Get rid of the thoughts about them, they'll be gone. Because everyone that think they have more have no morals. It's just a thought, and so they're trying to live up to the imagination of what they think morals are. As the young lady was just saying, you're taught this. Do not do this, do not do that, do this, do that, do that. And so you're trying to live up to an idea, and no one does. The Christians think they have more than the atheists, right? But they're both the same, immoral. The Christians hate the atheists. The atheists hate the Christian. The Christian judging this, and they both think they're right and they're both wrong. Get rid of all your ideas about morality. It's a headache. All they do is imprison you. Everyone that has morals are in prison. They're trying to live up to an idea. Oh, you're not the best husband. Okay, I got to be the best husband. You're not the best wife. Okay, I got to be the best wife. What does that mean, you know? It's just an idea. That's why they don't work. You got to let all idea about morality go. What do you think about that?
Doesn't make sense. You know, God made commandments twice.
God made what?
When they made the 10 Commandments,
Right.
God had to make them with his hand, and he made them twice.
Right, but he didn't call them morals.
Those are the only morals that I know of.
But God didn't call the 10 Commandments morals.
Okay, let me change my words.
No,
I'm
don't
supposed to
change
get
your
rid of
word.
my commandments. That's what I thought morals were. Don't lie, don't steal, don't
I
cheat.
thought that's what it was.
That's not
No.
something new to me, then this is new.
Morality is to love your neighbor as yourself. To love God first and to love your neighbor as yourself. When you have that, the 10 Commandments are going to naturally fall in place.
That's one of the
And
commandments.
the commandment is just to help you from getting in trouble. Still, killing his wife and putting her under the porch. But if you have love, you're going to do right. If you have real love. You're not going to break the commandment of loving God first and loving your enemy, your neighbor as yourself. If you don't break those commandments, you're not going to break any commandments. Because love conquers all. And then so you don't have to have it, this is so deep, you won't have to have an idea about your morality. And if you don't have an idea about your morality, you're not going to walk around judging everybody else. Christ judged no one. So you're not, because he understood what was driving them, right? So if you don't have these ideas about your morality, you're not going to be judging anyone about morality because you will understand.
I don't get it, but I'll drink on it or something.
Well, you notice that your little morals ain't working.
My morals are connected to the commandments.
Are they working?
Sometimes they work.
Are they working? Either they're working or not. Morality doesn't work sometimes.
It's not the morality that is the problem, it's me.
No, it's your morals.
It's not them.
Just think about that. If your morals work, why are they working all the time?
It's not my morals, it's me. It's
And who are you?
the book is the book.
And who are you?
That's who I'm trying to find out.
So are you your morals?
No,
Are you the book?
no.
Thank you. Well,
I still
watch
don't
those
get it.
thoughts. You'll see what's going on. I understand your struggle. And there's some he think he got more and he ain't got none. And we all think we have it, and that's where the problem is. Because when you think you have them, you're going to measure everybody else's life based on your morality. I don't steal. How could you steal? But you do steal. You just didn't steal at the bank. You stole somewhere else. You know what I mean? I don't cheat on my wife or my husband. I can't believe you cheated. How'd you cheat? But you do cheat. The moment you walk out the house, you look at that fine man, you go, ooh, that's a fine man. And you lusting all over the place for that man. Or you look at that woman, wow, that's a fine, we had a wife, my wife looked like that. You're cheating. It's in the mind. The problem is in the mind, it's not in the act itself. Bring all the thoughts together, all that stuff will end. It's all in the mind. It's so crazy too, that it's all in the mind. It's not even real. It's all in the mind. When Christ told us to bring every thought into captivity, he meant every one of them. And what do? You hold on to thoughts. You hold on to your enemy. Amazing. I saw a couple other hands, right? Yes, sir.
Oh, I was going to say, for you, I don't know if this helps, but if the thought is tied to an emotion, it's not practical. I don't know if that helps.
Did that help? That makes sense, too.
That makes sense,
Yeah. So even if it's like, oh, I got to go to work, right, you would think that's practical. But if it's like
Right.
emotions behind it, it ain't practical. You know what I mean? So just look at it, I guess, when that
That's
happens.
a very good point. Because you don't think, I got to go to work. Ooh, I feel so good.
Yeah, right? Like, oh.
I'm going to work. Or you don't think, oh, I just feel horrible. Go to work. Some people do with that. But that's emotion. That's a good point, man.
Thank you. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed. So I hope that helps. Yeah.
Amazing. Anybody else? I was thinking of you. I have a question for you. You know how when mothers have to deal with their kids,
Yes.
and then the kids grow up, become teenagers, the boys, and then now they want to run the road, run the street, and
Yep.
date and all that. And then sometimes they get on your nerve. You're like, oh, you better get that boy. Don't have me.
Yep.
Lord, keep me from him. And then you tell the husband, you better get your child. I'm about to choke him.
Yep.
You still do that?
No.
You stopped doing it?
I
Oh,
stopped.
beautiful.
I stopped. I've been watching myself a lot. I really have. It's been nice.
And so tell me about you stopped doing it. What's that like for you now?
I can see myself getting into my thoughts because I want to react.
Yeah.
That's an initial reaction for me. But lately I've just been like, all right. Like right now he was sitting here, he's like, Christy, mom. And I'm just like, I'm not even gonna look at this kid.
Right on.
So it's been good. It's been great.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about, I know one Sunday you said, when you're dealing with him, you'd go, you better get this man, you better get this boy.
Yeah. And I used to make him feel bad.
Yeah.
And you know what, that's one thing you did tell me. I don't know if it was during church or after church. And I would tell him to check him with an emotion tied to that to make sure he felt some type of way.
Yeah.
And I've stopped that too, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of you, and I was thinking even that's the devil got you reacting too.
Yeah.
By saying all that stuff in your
Yeah.
head. You better get this boy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because in reality, you shouldn't be moved by your son's action at all.
Yeah.
And you will see the right way to deal with it in the right way, with the right spirit.
And I've noticed that when I don't react, he stops himself. So, I mean, there's still times where he'll just, yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to get
But
worse before it get better.
Yeah, I believe
He's a
it.
teenager.
Yeah.
But you watch how you deal with it, because Satan is keeping you angry.
Yeah.
And you put pressure on your husband, because now he got to try to make you calm down by dealing with the son. And if he going to overreact and dealing with the son, it'll just be a mess.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And how's everything else going for you?
I think right now I feel like there's still like like Randy said one time, where you just have your moments. But right now I feel like I'm on a pretty good roller coaster going up, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're educated? You have a degree?
I have some no, I don't have like a bachelor's or anything.
Oh,
There's
okay,
no-
but you have some college.
Yeah, I have some college.
How sorry, Randy, what I'm about to say. Randy doesn't seem like he can handle you.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yo, see?
yeah.
Everybody know what I mean.
I'm sure.
You know,
that
some men
everybody
and
knows
women
that.
together, you can just see how that man don't look like he can handle her.
I don't look
So
that
you like,
bad.
you know, you're a bit Ohio, but what about that? What is it like knowing you have a man
That can't handle me?
he can't handle you? He's nice, and that's the
He
problem.
is.
That's the problem. Huh?
Yeah, that is the problem.
Uh-huh.
I
Sorry,
want
Randy.
him to like sit me down and be like, "You better cut that out." So, but yeah, I mean, sometimes he does, but
He
for
be
the most
like-
part, he's very soft. But I love it. I love it.
No,
and
you
I'm not
don't.
trying to.
You
no, I
hate
don't.
it.
You're right. I do. I really do.
He be like, you better sit down. You want him to say, hey, no, sit down.
Yeah.
You can't do that, Randy? What's wrong with you? Too much mama?
I don't know.
What would happen if you told her how the cow ate the cabbage and she didn't like it at all?
There's been times where it does happen. I don't know, I just don't really have it in me to just like get, I feel like it has to come with anger. Like when you explain it to me, maybe it's the thoughts, but it sounds like it has to come from anger. That's what's confusing to me. Like, how do I get to that level without anger? Because I can get there with anger, but without anger, I don't know.
You do it by speaking up anyway and see what happens. You need to tell her, no, calm down. Just tell her, and if she doesn't like it, watch how you're feeling about what she's thinking about, how she's acting. And she's like, well, you don't tell me what to do.
Well, I don't like that word "calm down."
You don't like calm down?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm gonna react to that.
See? And let her, when you calm down, and when you calm down, watch her reacting to you, not reacting to you, not reacting to her. You got to be the watcher, looking at the devil inside of her and watch the devil inside of you. And that's how this whole thing get worked out. God just wants us to be aware. There's nothing we can do about ourselves or anyone else, but he wants us to see what's going on so he can save us from the darkness. He doesn't want you to be afraid, but if you do have fear, he wants you to see that you have the spirit of fear, but tell her how the cow ate the cabbage anyway, and if she's acting out because you're not reacting, watch that too, but don't react. You know what I mean? You got to watch what's happening inside of you. Because she needs you to be there. She's never had a strong man before. And she's starving for one. Sorry you got a beta. He's working on it.
Yes.
I used to be a beta. I remember when I like dated a whole lot, right? And I was wanting to yell at the girl or say something, yell at her. And then the word would come, because I'm all mad, I'm ticked. And the word would come, and they would get here and lock in my throat. I'll be like, can you go? Can you go over there? And they would literally lock in my throat and wouldn't come out. Unless I was like really mad. Anybody else have that? Am I not? Yeah. Is Randy and I the only one? Thank you. Y'all know that fear. You know what I'm talking about. Especially dealing with women. But you got to do it anyway. And if she yells because she's not accustomed to it, and she yells and go off on you and act like a black girl or whatever, you stay still. No, you just stay still. Do what you got to do. And in about 50 years, she'll come around and you'll die.
Oh my God,
At least you'll die in peace.
That's why men die sooner.
Right. Because they don't know how to deal with that hell. But she needs you, she really needs you to be strong. And don't be afraid of losing her.
What the?
Right.
Okay.
If she said, well, you don't tell me what to do, I'm independent. I'm leaving. I'm going. Oh, okay, bye.
Oh yeah, that's not happening.
Just
I got nowhere to go.
right.
Yeah, that's not.
But you're fortunate your wife is working on herself, so you got it a little easier. If you were with a woman that was not working on herself, you wouldn't have a chance. You really wouldn't have a chance. So at least she know there's another way. So you got to stop being afraid. Your wife tell you, oh, we're going to have chicken and liver for dinner. You're like, no, we're not. I don't want no chicken. I want a steak. And if she doesn't cook your steak, you whoop her. No, I'm playing. No whooping. I can hear the people now. You told her to... No, I'm playing. It's Thanksgiving. But the whole point for both of you, really, you got to see what's going on in here.
Yeah.
You got to be aware of you, and no one is to blame for the way you feel. So your fear has nothing to do with her, but it's already in you. That make sense?
It's interesting you're saying that because we had family, well, I had my dad's side family come over for Thanksgiving, and they were over the house last night, and we were all talking, and it seems like they also have the same trauma that I have.
They
like,
do.
The same fear, the same anxieties, the same it's almost like my dad and their mom, which their siblings, made us, meaning me and my cousins, afraid to speak up.
Absolutely.
And it's the exact same trauma to the T.
Yes. Same spirit. That's why we must be born again, so we don't pass that anger down to our children. And then they would come up in love, and it'll be peace on earth for them. You're absolutely right about that. And then you got to stop being so willful. The first thing,
Okay.
You got to control that too by watching it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because you're working on you. Let's say Randy never gets strong. Let's say he stays beta forever, right? You want to have peace in your life.
Yeah.
And in spite of his weakness, you still can have peace because you will be of love. Christ came that you may have peace.
I have a really bad, I bring my dad up a lot because my dad was very, very alpha, and he was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to act like this, because he would, cut it that moment.
Right.
And I know it's a really bad habit that I have, where I'll tell him, why can't you be more like my dad? Why can't you be more like my dad? Because I grew up with my dad like that, where he would tell me absolutely not, and it was either, he would not ever repeat himself more than once.
Right.
And I know I have to watch myself when I do that, because I know it affects him also.
When you say, why don't you be like my dad?
Yeah.
When it's not your responsibility or your fault that affects him.
Right.
That's his problem. It's not. Because he had to overcome that. He shouldn't be affected because you say, well, why don't you be like my dad? You weak thing. Be like my dad. My dad would do that. If he was strong, he would just give you the finger and tell you, bring up your dad. I ain't your dad, and give you the finger. He should try to live up to that, or be whatever your father was. Or your father, because your father could have been too strict on you, and you may resent him for that and still holding on to that too.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he shouldn't even try to be like your father. And when you bring it up, you're just judging him anyway. You're telling him how weak he is.
Yeah. And I think that's what I intentionally do sometimes.
Absolutely. That's why you
I know that for a fact, yeah, because I see it.
When she brought why can't you be like my dad? When she said, you weak thing, I hate you, you weak. She's judging you.
I don't say all that, but...
So, but
yeah.
in the action, it is that. It is truly that. You're judging his weakness. And so if you feel bad about it and now you're trying to live up to it, then you got a problem. That's in you, because when she says that, you shouldn't be moved by that at all. But if you are moved by something that you got to overcome, she should stop doing that. But if she doesn't, you'll be fine with it. Y'all understand this? This makes sense? You don't quite understand it?
No, this is one of the more confusing things.
Okay, hold it. Okay. Don't go away, bad family. Okay. What you don't understand about that?
So I might be the opposite. I think I stand up too much. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you could be doing for ego reason. You still maybe try to protect your ego because if you're worried about being weak, you're still trying to protect a false nature, your ego.
Right. It's not that I feel strong standing up. It's just that, in fact, I'm a little confused on when to say something and when not to. There's times where I'll just let things go.
Right.
And then I'll let it build up, which is way worse as far as how I handle it.
Well, when you're not sure what to say, let it go, let it go.
Yeah.
Or if you overdo it, watch yourself overdoing it.
Right.
And then watching it is what's going to change it. Because if you try to stop overdoing it, you're going to underdo it.
Right.
And if you underdo it, you're going to overdo it. Why not let go and watch and let things happen on its own? God got us. He'll take care of us. And he knows that we're driven by evil spirits in our imagination, and it's not us. It's enough for you to see it, then he will work it out.
So, like, there are situations where a woman will nitpick, and it'll seem relentless. Like, you can't even take a step without a comment. So you'd be fighting all day.
But why do you have to fight with a nitpicking woman?
Right, so that's the thing. It's like, at what point, if it just...
You mean
it's
like
like, it's like death by 1,000 cuts.
At work or if you're dating? Or period?
Let's just say period, but in particular with women, right? So it's just, or like, say the mother of your children that you have to deal with, to be more specific. Just nonstop.
Stop fighting with the devil.
Right.
Let her nitpick by herself. You don't have to respond.
So don't even comment.
No comments. That's right.
Okay.
I want you to know you don't owe anyone any explanation. You don't owe anyone an apology or anything.
But see, that's what's confusing, because on the one hand, you're telling him to stand up more.
By watching his weakness so he can overcome it.
So are you not standing up by letting all these little things slide?
No.
Okay.
Repeat that. Are you, what did you say?
So are you not standing up for yourself when you're letting somebody nitpick you into oblivion?
Oh, when you try to stop someone from nitpicking at you,
Right.
And if you try to defend it, you're not standing up for yourself.
Right.
Because there's no self to stand up for.
Okay.
And so if your wife or ex is carrying on, let her carry on by herself and watch what you're thinking about it or feeling about it.
Right.
And if you're feeling something about it, be glad to see that, but do nothing about it.
All right.
Because if you let it, you will overcome it, and then when she's nitpicking next time, you won't be moved by it at all. It'll be on her, and it has nothing to do with you.
Right on.
As a matter of fact, it has nothing to do with you anyway, but because you think there is a you think she's nitpicking at you. And it's not, it's all inside of her.
Right.
Do you see there's no you?
Yes, at times, but there's some times where you're just trying to get through your day in a practical way, and then there's just like wrenches being thrown at you. Does that make sense?
Give me an example of a wrench.
Well, at some point you do have to communicate with the person, right?
Right.
Like, okay, I'm gonna, pick up.
When you do, you just do it with perfect love. Come pick the child up at 8 o'clock.
Right.
Right? And she's like, I can't come at 8 o'clock. You always want me to come at 8. Come at 8.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't always want you to come at 8. Yes, you do. And blah, blah, blah. And then she said, okay, I can't come at 8. I'm not coming at 8. You say, okay, bye. And you'll see what to do with the child.
Right. All right.
That makes sense?
It does.
Isn't this like beautiful to have control of your own life? And stop being subject to the world. Did that help? Do you understand that you don't owe her an argument at all?
Yes, right now I do. Right now in this chair I do.
Right.
But the question is, a week from now, when I've been busy doing all these other things and I'm tired and I get caught sideways.
You go unconscious when you're tired?
There are times, yeah, where I'm just, I'm not prepared.
You should always be prepared. Never forget to be present.
That's
The greatest sin you can forget, that you can commit, is to forget. God said to pray without ceasing.
Yeah.
He simply means at all times be present.
right.
That's what I mean, so that when the devil throws these little things at us,
Yeah.
when things come, you'll be ready to see it and watch it go by
Yeah.
without having to respond.
That's probably the most important advice because it's not when I'm ready. It's not when I'm well rested and present. Nothing seems to happen when that's the
But
case.
when your body is tired, what does that have to do with your spirit being? Your spirit not tired.
Fair enough, but it's just an example of, I mean, when you have the flu and you're driving, that's when everybody wants to take a piece of you kind of thing. No, when
Repeat that?
it seems like human nature, they can almost sense when you're at your weakest. And that's when people
They
attack
can.
you. But when you're ready and you're strong, it's different.
But you should always be ready by being conscious.
Right. So
Always,
that,
even when you're sick, be ready.
yeah, that answers my question, actually.
Okay.
That's
Stay
just
present.
something I need to stay present. That's it.
Stay present. All you need to do is practice being present, really. And that's the hardest thing for the ego to do because it hates God. It doesn't want to be present.
Right.
It doesn't want you to be one with the Father. It wants you to be lost in time with it, lost in your head. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
So practice staying present. All those things will work. It's going to be amazing. I can't find the words.
Right.
If you practice being present.
Yeah, I probably wasn't prepared for Thanksgiving.
You were not?
Not really.
Why not?
Because that's when, all the people that don't really spend time with each other get together. It's probably the most challenging time. They should change that time to it's the most challenging time of the year instead of most wonderful time of the year.
And so you met with the family, you had a rough time?
It wasn't really that bad, but now that I'm paying attention to things, you see things in people
Right.
that are so strange.
That's right. And that's the beauty of God. He wants you to see what's in you and know that it's not you, so you can stop playing God with it.
Yeah.
But he also wants you to see what's in others, so you can stop playing God on them too. You stop judging them, and you'll be protected from it.
I think that's what happened is that I got a little cocky and I was judging people.
Yeah.
And then I got my lesson,
Yeah.
like, oh.
Because when you judge somebody, when you're, in all honesty, when you're judging them, you're judging yourself.
Yeah.
You're not even judging them, you're judging you because it's in you. And you're feeling the fire, the sting of judging. It's all in you. But Satan telling you, oh, you hurt that person feeling, or you're better than that person, you know the truth.
Right.
And he's lying to you, right? And you feel the pain of that too because you end up looking silly.
And you don't know how ironic it is that you were talking about pumpkin pie. Because that was actually one of the things. Like, honestly, like, that's my favorite thing. And
pumpkin pie?
Yes. And my mother purposely didn't bring it. And it was obvious. Obvious to me. And it was like I've been set up. Somehow I was the bad guy for even mentioning it.
Yeah.
I just said something in passing, so there's no pumpkin pie, right?
Yeah.
And then the reaction she had was like she drew all the family in, like, look, you see how he is? He doesn't appreciate anything. I thought this was a thankful holiday. And all I was making just a practical comment, like, where's the pumpkin pie? It is Thanksgiving.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it was like a setup.
And how did you deal with that?
I just made that one comment, like, because one of my kids was looking at me, and they knew. And I was like, I guess there's no pumpkin pie this Thanksgiving. They're all over the, I mean, you probably couldn't go into a store without seeing one, but for some reason they're not here.
And how did you react to your mother's reaction to that?
I just immediately, I saw it clearly what was happening, and I went to the other room as soon as I could, cracked a beer, and then I, regrouped and went back in there. Like it never happened. Because I didn't see any other strategy.
Oh, okay. Here's what I want you to, well, I don't know what the next moment going to call for.
Yeah.
But next time that happens, you stay and endure it. Don't run from it.
Yeah.
Run to that.
Yeah, I saw her face. I went, oh no. I'm going over here.
Yes, you ran.
Oh, that's a fact.
Yeah. What I would have recommended you do is that when she went off like that, you should have noticed how you felt about it. Now they're all attacking you, and she's saying these things. What am I thinking, feeling about it? And you will have overcome that.
Well, thankfully, my kids had my back. They just kind of smiled. They knew, they saw
But your
what time
kid's
it
not
was.
supposed to have your back. I'm
Well,
talking about God having your back, man.
That would be way better, yeah.
You ran to the room and got a beer. Mama is waiting for next time to get you.
You ain't lying. She is. That's a fact.
Yeah. But had you overcome about enduring it and watching it, knowing that it wasn't you,
Right.
next time it wouldn't move you at all.
Yeah.
You would be able to say, well, look, I want a pumpkin pie. You would be able to deal with it and not feel anything about it.
I probably shouldn't even have mentioned it. I should.
No, you
just let
should
it
have
sit.
mentioned it.
Yeah.
But you should have overcome by being still through it. Anybody understand what I'm saying?
Even I understand.
Oh, okay, by being
I
through-
get what you're saying about being still. I
Right.
definitely handled it like a coward, for
What?
sure. I definitely handled it like a coward. I saw the face and I was
Yeah.
like, I need to remove this situation. Because I saw what she was doing. It was like you said before, well, sometimes people will build an army against you.
Yes.
She used that little situation to do it, and I saw it clearly. I just didn't know exactly what to do, so I thought, well, I'm not going to be here for this while she's having her little party. I'm just going to change the subject. Like,
how
oh,
would
what's
you
that
like to
over
be
there?
married to him? You ready for mama
Yeah.
at the party.
Facts.
No, next time when God said that present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and accepted unto me,
Yeah.
what he means is all that junk, when it comes, be still through it. Let him handle it for you. Don't run with the devil. Don't run from it because you're giving it life.
Right.
But to be still and watch what's going on in the emotions and mind and emotions, and he will come and destroy the devil. But you didn't present it to him, you ran.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah.
Next time.
Yeah. Be aware of that.
We'll get him next time.
No matter what the situation is. Did that make sense? Okay.
Thank you.
Are we through with y'all? So, and then I'll come to you. Don't forget. Randy, you understand you can't be afraid of your wife anymore?
I do.
Yeah. And it's not you, but it's a spirit of anger, fear, being raised that way, and all that. All right? I remember when I was a kid, I used to speak up all the time. And a lot of time I got in trouble for speaking up. And then I think that's why I became a little afraid to speak up as I got older, because I thought that they were going to yell at me or this fear of mama. But you can get past that when you endure it anyway. You be firm with your wife, no matter how she's acting. You just don't resent, don't be angry. It'll change by itself. It really will. But you can't run. And don't try to be like her daddy. You ain't her daddy.
So here's the confusing part. She talks about her dad being very alpha, strong in his way, and my dad was the complete opposite. Very quiet, very timid.
Yeah.
I could say I'm more like him. So I guess I don't know who's right, and that's what's confusing. She's saying be over there, and my dad was a certain way, and then you're saying be right. Well, what is right?
Don't try to be like your father, her father, or your father. You be you. By seeking the kingdom of God, being aware of what's going on inside of you, and you'll be you. Don't try to be like either one of them. We're not supposed to be like our parents. We're supposed to overcome our parents. So just be you. Don't try to be like either one of them. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Be you. You want to be you. Be Randy. And you be you. Yeah.
Nice.
So I have a question, because you said we don't owe anybody any explanations, we don't,
Right.
right? And no, any apologies?
No.
So that's one thing that I feel like it's an issue between us, because I will not, I will see my fault and I won't repeat it, but I will not apologize. And I believe sometimes Randy will expect an apology or an explanation as to my action, and I've told him multiple times I don't have to explain myself or apologize, and I feel like my actions will speak for themselves. There's times where you know, we'll talk, you and I will talk, and you'll tell me something, and I'll see it in myself, and then I'll go to him like a week or two after, and I'm like, hey, I'm sorry for what I've done, and I'll fix it, and I'll work on that.
Right.
But like if something happens in that instant, like if I say, oh, you're driving wrong, I'm not gonna apologize for that. I mean, you know what?
You want apologies, Randy? Do you need a hug with that apology? You want an apology?
No, I don't want an apology.
You want to apologize?
No.
What do you want?
So if, let's say I make a mistake, this became couples therapy. Let's say I make a mistake, you know, she would expect me, well, how come you don't even acknowledge that you made a mistake? So if I'm expected to acknowledge.
Oh, you want him to acknowledge and he want to, y'all want, what's wrong with you?
I don't think it's always like that. It's not.
You want him to acknowledge you did you wrong?
Sometimes.
Why?
Just because that's the thrill in me, my
Right.
ego, yeah.
It's
So I
the
know that.
thrill.
I know that for a fact.
It ain't real. It's a thrill.
Right.
It's more control.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Uh-oh. Satan just woke up. Hold on, Satan. Satan will laugh. This is so much, I'm enjoying this. This is an amazing Thanksgiving. Why must he apologize, period?
I don't
Or
think he needs
acknowledge
to
that he did you
apologize.
wrong?
Honestly, I really don't expect an apology. I can care, not that I don't care, but I can care less. I think, like you said, it's more me wanting to control
Yes.
that
It's all
situation
about
and
the
that fact.
control.
Right, right. That's literally it.
Yeah.
Because I know deep down it doesn't really bother me. I just want to be like, ooh, you see? So
Do you-
I know that. I know that.
What do you think about that, Randy?
It's a mess.
Well,
It's a mess on both sides.
you know what it is? Human beings are wicked.
I'm noticing that. We're both
The
wicked.
human heart, human beings are wicked. And that's part of the wickedness. All that stuff is pure evil. You want to hurt one another, you got to do this, you got to be that way, you got to act this way. It's all wickedness. It's all trying to destroy.
I know I can say within the last 3+ years, we've gone a lot better.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, we've done counseling with you
It's
and everything,
apparent,
right?
yeah.
It's gone so much better. But I that's what I'm saying. There's times where I have my ups and my lows where I know like the devil gets
Yeah.
me and I'm like cussing it out inside. But I know those are like the thrills in me and that wanting to have that like control. And I know that's not me. I know that for a fact.
Right.
But I still let it control me. And that's my problem. And I still need to reel back on all that, those feelings and those
you need
thoughts.
to see
and,
it so you can stop doing it.
I know.
So it can die.
Yeah.
In order to have a life, you got to give up a life. And that's the life you got to give up.
And I think that's the hard part. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I still want to hold on to something, but I know I don't want to.
Right. And it's only hard to give up a life because you think that is you and you think it's real life, but it's really death.
Right.
You just feel like life because you've identified with it,
Yeah.
and that's all you know. You forgot what it's like to be like a little kid
Yeah.
and just live without opinions, without judging, forgiving, and just be free. You forgot that when you were traumatized as a kid. And now you're living this false life, which is death, and you're calling it life.
Yeah.
But it's all evil and they're all spirits. This carrying on like this are spirits that made a home in you. They're not even you, right?
Yeah.
They're just spirits. But the people don't know that they're spirits. They think it's them.
Yeah.
It sounds like me, it feels like me, it must be me, and it's not.
Yeah.
Those are evil spirits. The big devil's up there using his children inside your mind to destroy you. That's all it is spirits. Amazing, huh?
Yeah.
And so start catching it, and it'll resolve itself, but start catching it.
I need to stay conscious. I remember that. That's
You
for
got
sure.
to stay present.
Yeah.
I talk with a lot of sick people, so I'm not talking about anyone in this room. I'm gonna close my eyes. So I was talking to somebody, they were sick. I was like, well, how you doing? I just feel so bad. I can't hardly move. And I was throwing up. I'm like, Lord, kill him. I'm like, these are the kind of people God killed. Why can't you just say, I'm sick, I'm throwing up, I'm fine, or whatever, right? Why you gotta have all that emotional stuff? You don't even want to go and get that person in a soup. You don't know him, you say, okay, you want some soup? We gotta stop whining. We gotta stop being pitiful. We are made in the image of God. We're sons and daughters of God. We got to stop letting the devil defeat us. You got to say to the devil, no, 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 you ain't going to defeat me anymore. No more conversation with you, no more action through you, no more anything. I'm stopping. I'm not, no more devil. Just say no to the devil. He have to accept no. He really, but you're not saying no, you're going along with him. You're giving death life. Say no to the devil. It's time to live and stop being pitiful. It really is. The paradise is right here in you. Right here, right now. You can have so much fun in life if you say no to the devil. That's the devil in you. That's the devil in the people that you're fighting with. Don't want anybody, anything that you feel like you gotta have it. Then it just hurts you if you're not gonna get it. That's not life. It's not life. You don't owe anyone. Someone say something about you, and you don't need to hold a press conference. You don't owe anyone any explanation. Let the people think what they want. Why are you even thinking about what others are thinking about you? You're the problem. You're the one doing the thinking about what others are thinking. Think about that. I want you to smoke on that one. You are doing the thinking about what others are thinking about you. And then you hold a press conference. And all you did was give them some more juicy stuff to talk about. That's all you've done. It didn't change their mind about you. And it didn't change your mind about wondering what others are thinking about you. That makes sense? Isn't that like deep when you think about it? It's all in us. The problem is in us. It's not out there. It's out there, but it's inside of them. They have their own problem, right? What do you think about that? Yeah, thinking about what others think about you.
That's what I've been struggling with at work, people at work, and then they've said nothing, but I feel like they're treating me some way or they regard me some way.
Yeah.
And then I start trying to do things to try to kind of control the situation and assert myself.
Yeah.
And like you said, I'm just playing games in my mind. Like they
Yes.
haven't said anything. I've created a whole scenario. And
Absolutely.
I have a bad habit where I'll come up with a speech. Like I'm like, if they say something, this is what I'm going to say. And I'm holding a little press conference for myself. That's why we're laughing here, because my mom knows. Because she's the same way. We'll be like, and I'm going to say this. And they think they're going to know. And, like I'm hyping myself up for a fight that's not going to happen. And it's distracting me from having peace.
Absolutely.
Because that person, I don't even know what they really think. They could be thinking about something else,
they're
and now
probably
I'm
not
all
even
worked up.
thinking about
They're
you.
not even thinking about me, but I'm worked up, and now people are like, why is she acting weird? I don't even know. Maybe they don't even notice.
That's right.
Yeah.
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 It's all in here.
That's my
God said to bring every thought into captivity. Our thoughts are our enemy. They're not our friend. God wants us to live a non-thinking life. He just wants you to live by the light. He doesn't want you to think about life. He just wants you to live. But you don't trust that. You trust this.
It's hard when you're smart. People always tell you you're smart, and then you try and use that to get through life instead of relying on God.
Right. When they tell you you're smart, just say, oh, okay, thank you, and let it pass. When they call you smart, they're going to come back and call you dumb. As soon as they get mad, or as soon as they hear something about you, as soon as you get a little money, how did she get that money? She's so dumb. But you just said she was smart. I liked her then. But you got to stop listening to those thoughts. It's not you, it's the devil in here. Paul said, this thing make me do the things and think the way I don't want to think. It prevent me from doing what I'm doing. Can you see a little bit right now that it's not you at all, these thoughts?
After listening to everyone else, it's
I'm
making
sorry?
me think of instances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not you. Is this your first time here?
Yeah, both
Oh,
of
this
us.
is your first time?
Yeah.
Oh, both of you?
Yeah,
Y'all came by yourself on the first time?
yeah.
Where y'all come from?
We live around here and we just heard about the church.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your first name?
I'm Deandra.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's amazing. And so, and I'm gonna get to your mom and your mother in a minute. Do you see a little bit that it's not you, but it's the thoughts?
Yes.
And do you know how to overcome that?
I'm trying to listen to everyone so that I can glean.
Oh, good. Here's the beginning of overcoming that. You got to forgive your mom. Your mother screwed you up. Sorry, Mom. But not really sorry, but. Your mother recreated you in her image, and you are not you. You are your mother, and you live in her life. And she's living her mother's life, and so on and so on. You got to forgive her for what she's done to you. And stop letting her control you even now. What do you think about that?
I think that's very true.
And why haven't you forgiven her?
Because I can't forgive myself.
But what is there to forgive you for?
Decisions that were made in the past, and when my grandmother passed away, we were
Speak up a
taking
little
care.
bit for me.
Oh, okay, decisions that were made in the past, and we were taking care of my grandma before she passed away, and just a lot of family stuff. That's
Your
been
mama
just
made you take
intertwined.
care of your grandmama too?
No, I wanted to take care of my
Oh,
grandma
God, you
because the
better
other
move on.
people
You
in our
gotta take
family
care of
wouldn't
her.
help.
All your life you're gonna be taking care of old people. Can you imagine living that way? And then you gonna die. But you gotta forgive your mother, in all seriousness. What one thing you need to forgive? Oh, let me say something. There is no you to forgive. You don't exist.
What?
You don't exist. You have a false illusion about you. You don't exist.
Then what is this?
It's just a body that you live in.
Then who am I?
That's the problem. Who are you?
The righteousness in Christ Jesus?
Here we go, Lord. We go with this righteousness in Christ. Who are you?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
But did you think you knew who you were before now, before I asked?
Yeah.
And who did you think you were?
Deandra.
That's your name.
Yeah.
You're not your name.
A child of God.
That's who you belong to. That's not who you are.
I start to think of achievements and titles and jobs and who I am to other people.
That's what you do. That's not who you are.
Yeah. Me, like this person, my personality.
That's your body. That's your attitude. That's not who you are.
I don't know. Does
Right.
someone else know?
No one knows. When the fate you disappear, you will know. When you stop living this illusion in your imagination, you will know. Those are the things you do, and you believe you belong to God. Why do you think I'm a child of God with the Holy Spirit? Why do you believe you belong to God?
Because Jesus saved me.
He saved you from what?
Sin. From that version of myself that wants to do those bad things. Like
So
he lives
Jesus
inside
saved-
me.
If Jesus saved you, why are you catching so much hell?
Because I'm still working out my salvation. Because there's still that personality, that ego that you were talking about, that's still
doesn't want to let go of control.
But that's not
completely.
your salvation. That's the devil in you. And only God can handle that when you forgive your mother. Can you say two things? You don't have to go all personal, right? But two things you need to forgive your mother for. You wish you resent her for. You wish you would stop doing, or it just get on your nerve. Don't tell her, Mama. Now she's trying to control you.
I guess I need to forgive her for when we moved away from New York, because I felt like she took me away from my dad on some level.
Absolutely. She hates your father, and she took you away from your father. And when she turned you away from your father, she turned you away from God. She was jealous of your father. She hates your father. She didn't like the fact you look like your father. You talk like your father. She didn't like the fact you love your father. You got to forgive her for that. And the way you forgive her, and I want you to pay attention that this anger that you have is hatred. It's playing God, right? It's judgment. And she couldn't help herself. Her mother screwed her up too. Turned her away from her father. Same thing happened, right? And you are wrong for being angry about it. You couldn't help yourself as a kid. You were subject to her. But as an adult, you got to work on you by realizing, yeah, that was evil. That was wrong what you did, but I'm wrong for hating her. And God will forgive you when you admit you were wrong for being angry. I was wrong. I'm wrong for hating you for it. I realize that you can't help yourself. I'm sorry for hating you. And if she said, oh, I'm sorry, daughter, I was wrong, fine. And she said, it ain't me, it's your father. Your father did that. That's fine too. Let her act and say what she wants. You forgive her, and God will forgive you, and He will draw you into the kingdom of heaven, and your whole world will start to change. But you got to, confessing of the sin is to admit that you're wrong for being angry. Anger is hatred. They used to call it hatred, but they call it anger now. They smooth the word out, but it's still hatred. Anyone that has hatred play God. They're judging themselves and others. They think they know what they want and blah, blah, blah. But you got to forgive her for what she's done. And stop taking care of grandmom and all the old people. You got to live your life. Get away from mama and live your life. You don't owe mama anything. You don't owe daddy anything. They were supposed to feed you. They had you. You know, they were supposed to take care of you. You didn't make an agreement, okay, y'all make me, I'm going to come down there and I'll take care of you when you get old. Right? You didn't make an agreement, right?
No.
So you owe them nothing. Don't let them make you think that. And when you love them with the right love, if you want to help them, you would do it without any guilt. You would just naturally do it if you want to. That make sense?
Yes.
So and you got to forgive your father for not protecting you from her. He didn't know how to deal with her. He loved you. He just didn't know how to deal with the hell in your mama, because he ended up marrying a woman that he hated. He married his mama. You become attracted to what you hate. You notice all the men you get involved with are weak. I can't hear you.
Yes.
You know that they're weak?
Yes.
They're just like your daddy. You're only attracted to weak men so you can control them. And then when you control them, you hate them because you control them. You need a man to stand up. But he won't stand up because he's afraid of you. You're just like his mama. The same spirit. What a mess, huh?
Yeah.
What a mess! Any question or any disagreement with that at all? About that?
No disagreements.
Did that help a little bit?
It does, thank you.
Yeah, you got to drop your anger. And you can drop it by forgiving. You're only wrong because you hate, not because of what you've done, but because you hate. It's of the heart. And in all honesty, you have never done anything wrong your whole life. Which is easier for you to accept? You are a sinner or you saved? Oh no, you're a sinner or all your sins have been forgiven. Which is easier to accept?
All my sins have been forgiven.
So why you keep calling yourself a sinner?
Thinking.
Yes, it's in the head, it's a lie. The church have told you that, your friends tell you that, and all the Christians are telling you that you're a sinner because they're filled with hatred. They can't see. They've been lied to one another. That's amazing, huh? You're free. You gotta stop believing a lie. You gotta overcome the anger and everything will work out. Amazing, huh?
Thank you.
You're welcome. And so, tell me your first name?
I'm Taj.
What?
Taj, like the Taj
Oh,
Mahal.
Tosh.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And so you just happened to come too.
Yes.
Are you glad now?
I'm very happy to be
Right on. Do you see that you were wrong for the way you treated your daughter?
Absolutely.
Why haven't you apologized before now?
I have apologized to her, and I'll apologize to her again.
Speak up for me a little bit.
I have apologized to her, and I'll apologize to her again.
But you didn't change. Why did you change?
I think when we go through life, I think that we are a product of our environment, a product of how we were raised. And
Yes.
so that's so ingrained in you that sometimes, although you want to change, because I really do want to change,
Right on.
you miss the mark just because but as you say, you have to start looking outside of yourself and watching these things and realizing, oh wow, this is where
Speak up a little bit.
this is where I made my, you
Speak
start
up to me like black women. Yell at everybody.
you have to start looking outside of yourself and realizing inside of yourself and realizing, okay, this is where I've made my mistakes and this is what I need to adjust, so that that apology can be felt. Just like you said, you need to.
You know, this is why God never tell us to go and apologize. He never tell you to apologize because when people apologize, they lie. You know how when women are crying, they're lying? When they're crying, they're lying. When human beings are apologizing, they're lying. They don't mean it at all. They never change. They're going to, and you'll trust them when they apologize, you'll trust them and they'll turn around and do it again. That's why kids are traumatized by parents. When kids are little, the parents say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And the kid believe it, and they say, oh, they're never going to do it again, right? So they trust the parent, and as soon as they trust the parent do it again, and then the kid become angry, and they become like the parents when you become angry, right? People who apologize are lying to you. Stop believing them when they say they apologize. They don't mean it. You have to admit you're wrong. I am wrong for judging you. I'm wrong for being angry. When you can admit you're wrong, that is an apology from the heart, and that would change you. But when you just say, oh, I'm sorry, I ate your syrup and your bread and your bacon, and now I want to go to breakfast. Have you had like homemade biscuit with some homemade syrup, some homemade hot meat, pork? Oh my God. Sorry. I forgot about your troubles. You have to admit to your kids that you're wrong for imposing your will on them, for turning them away from their fathers and trying to control them. And forgive your mother. Have you forgiven your mother for what she done to you?
I have.
And you told her?
I did.
So when you said to your mother, I'm sorry for hating you for what you done to me, what'd she say?
I didn't put it exactly in those words.
How did you say it?
I said to her, Mom, there are things that have happened that you've done, because the same thing happened with me and my dad. My mom moved me away from my dad when I was small. And
I know that's why you did it to your children. And if you don't forgive her, you're going to do it to your children. You don't want to, but you will. Because that evil spirit is driving you. But go ahead.
And so what I said for her, I said, thank you for being the best mom that you could be. Because I realized, too, that her circumstances, when she grew up, she had things that she had to deal with, challenges being raised by the mom that she had. So I I expressed it to her in that, like in a totality,
Right.
not calling out each individual mistake that she made, because we're not perfect. But I just let her know that I'm so happy to have her as a mom, and
And when you let your children know that you have been wrong, you turn them away from their father due to the hatred of your own heart, and that you're wrong for that?
would I do that? Yes, I
Yeah.
would. But
So-
I didn't really realize that's what it was.
I know, absolutely.
So, yeah.
I once was blind, but now I see. People are doing this because they don't know that that's what the problem is. They don't realize. They know things are wrong, but they don't know exactly what's driving them.
Correct.
You're right, you didn't know, and now you do.
Didn't realize, correct.
And you owe them an apology. An apology is I'm wrong. Not like, oh, I'm wrong for yelling at you. That's not an apology. I'm wrong for being evil. I'm wrong for turning you away from your father, imposing my will on you, still trying to control you. I'm wrong. And when you do that, God will forgive you. Salvation is of the heart. He will forgive you, and then he'll give you some light, and he'll bring you out of your imagination. Well, he'll let you see all these thoughts, and he'll start to bring you out of the dark. This is you. You've been living here. He'll start to bring you out of the darkness, and that old nature will be destroyed, and he will give you a brand new nature. And so you will be right because you have the same Spirit of God, and then you will now have the same nature as God. So you will be good and you will do good. It will be impossible to do wrong because your nature will change. But you got to admit you're wrong at heart. Your heart is wicked.
Okay,
All right?
I will.
Amazing. And Satan doesn't want you to do it. He's going to say, oh, don't do that. They're going to think they're better than you. You're the mama. You're this, right? Don't listen to those lies. You got to confess your sin. Human beings are evil. All we've been hearing about this stuff that's happening are evil spirits. There's no good in human beings. Zero. Right? But it can be once you're born of the heart. The heart will change. Any question about that?
No, that makes perfect sense.
Do you disagree with any of that?
No.
And so you owe your kids an apology. You say you forgave your mother and you forgive your father. Your father loved you. He just didn't know how to deal with your mother, the hell in your mother. All right?
Correct.
So forgive your father too so that God can forgive you.
Yes.
All right? Y'all got some work to do.
Oh, yes.
Was this helpful?
Very.
Good.
I just had a question, though.
Yes. Let's speak up just a little bit.
When you asked her, you said, is it easier to believe that all your sins are forgiven, or
Yeah.
that you're a sinner?
Which is easier for you to believe that you're a sinner or all your sins have been forgiven?
For me, it's the opposite. It's more easy for me to believe that I'm a sinner.
Speak up.
For me, it's the opposite. It's more easy for me to believe that I'm a sinner.
That you're a sinner?
Yes.
It's hard for you, it's easier to believe that you're a sinner?
Correct.
And how are you a sinner?
Just in all the things that I do, how I live every day. You know, you live for yourself, your wants, your desires,
Right, but that's because your heart is evil, not because you're a sinner. The only sin that we commit is we don't forgive. And by not forgiving, you're being controlled by evil, by Satan. Satan is in the mind, right? He's in your thoughts. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. And Satan controlling you. That's not you doing that. God doesn't see you as a sinner, except for the heart.
That makes sense.
God doesn't see you as a sinner. He sees you as free. You see you as a sinner. And you keep claiming it and naming it. And when you do that, you are identifying with it. You're saying that's you, and it's not you. This thing is working through you to do what you've done. It wasn't you. You thought it was you. They told you it was you, but it wasn't you. Something else. Just think about all the stuff you've done. Don't tell us, or we'll be here all day and all night. Just think about all the things you have thought about that were horrible, right? I can't hear you.
Yeah.
And all the things you have done that you wish you had not done. You can't believe you did it.
Okay.
You think that was you doing that? You would never decide to do those things. You think that was you? If you had control, you would do all good for yourself. Am I right?
True.
There was something else doing that through you, and you were calling it you. And that's what the problem was. You identified with it, and you became one with the devil. It was never you. Christ came, and all of our sins have been wiped away. We are free. God doesn't judge us. The kingdom of heaven is done. We are free. It's inside of us. You don't need to wait through the Old Testament. That's been taken care of too. Not the Old Testament, but what's that thing that people love? Revelation. Forget about Revelation. You know the people waiting on Jesus to come back in a sin and everybody going to be taken up? That ain't going to happen. It's already done in here. The moment you realize you're wrong at heart, in that very moment, you enter into the kingdom. And in that very moment, you start to live. You overcome the world. You're not a sinner. You have never done anything wrong. It was something else working through you. You're not your body. You're not your thoughts. You're not your body. You're not your emotions. They're all evil. You've just been thinking that you were them, and you've been overreacted to them. Okay. Giving room to the devil. God said you're free. He sent his son so that you could be free. And you're free and don't know it because you listen to the lie. What do you think about that?
Deep.
It is, huh? I want to encourage both of you to start working on you. It's all in you. It's not out there. It's out there inside of other people. Everybody has the same problem, right? But you are free. Stop calling yourself a sinner because you identify with evil. And then you go on your knees and you pray, oh, Lord, have mercy. Lord, bless my daddy. Lord, remember my mama. My poor mama. She's gone now, but I know she's with you. Lord, mama, looking down on me now. Look down on me, mama. And Lord, remember my children. My poor children. Grace is in bad shape. Remember her. I know I didn't do it, Lord, but remember her. Praying to the devil. And then prayer never get answered. Because you're one with the devil. What do you think about that one?
That's true.
God, y'all don't know that God loves you, and you don't know that you're free. You just don't know. As the young lady said, you just don't know. You've been lied to. And you've been lied to every moment. I got to run. I'm looking at the clock. Y'all had enough to be saved. Forgive. Apologize for judging. I'm wrong for judging you. Drop the anger, and you can be free. But the devil gonna make you think, because they're gonna come back and yell at you and make you mad again. The devil gonna say, "See, you have not forgiven. You still mad." Don't believe that. That's him. Don't call that you. That's a lie. Just see it, but do nothing about it, and it'll be taken away. Present your body unto God, meaning all of your junk in here, all your vices, all of your pot. You still smoke pot?
No.
You don't smoke no more?
Never did.
Say
Never
what?
did.
You look like that old guy I used to smoke pot with. That's not you. No, I'm playing. Anyway, and I want you guys to do this. I have a little silent prayer I want you to start doing. Do your little hooping and hollering.
What do you mean?
Hooping and hollering prayer. Like, oh, Jesus, have mercy. Whatever. But be still and know God. Be still, and let him take over. We don't know what we want. We don't know what we need. He will provide for us. Joel's going to give you the little piece of paper to find it on the website, rebuildingaman.com/prayer. All right? Now I got any questions or disagreement about any of that?
No.
Okay.
What do you mean Jesus is not coming back?
He's already here. He has returned.
But then what's the book of Revelations trying to tell us?
The book of Revelation lets you know that once the Old Testament was conquered, the New Testament came about, it was done. It's finished. And that's why Jesus said that the kingdom of heaven is right here, right now. And when they tell you to look over here, look over there, look yonder, wait here, don't. The kingdom of heaven is here. It is done. It's been completed. The devil has been defeated. A new kingdom inside of us and above. And when you start watching, paying attention to not you, you're going to see the kingdom of heaven in you. God is there, Christ is there, and the Holy Spirit, your teacher, is there as well. He's already come. He's already returned. And when they say he's going to descend upon you, or whatever it says, something like that, it means that when you wake up, you can now see. That's the descendant that he's talking about. They're thinking physical. He was speaking spiritually. He was speaking spiritually. But every time Jesus said, don't be all puffed up over me. Don't be carried on over me. It's not me. My Father doing the work through me. But y'all trying to worship me. You want to call me God. But it's not me. I came to tell you about the Father. The Father would do all these things for us, for you and for me. And he said, the same work that I do, greater work can you do. You've heard that before, right? Yes. And right away the people thought he meant physical. They went physical. They didn't understand it was spiritual. And when he was saying the same state that I'm in, the Father with me, right? The kingdom of heaven, everything is right here. You could be in the same state. You have the same thing. And when you're in that state, your nature will become good. And you're going to naturally do good things. You'll be able to speak to people in a way where you will help them. You will not judge, but you will help. You'll be able to heal the sick. Because the Spirit of God is in you, because that's the state you're in, the same state as Christ was in. But they thought he meant physical. That's why the Christians talk about, I'm going out and healing everybody. They ain't healing nobody. Because they think physical. They're not thinking spiritual. But God has already come. He's with you. The kingdom of heaven is already here. Don't look over there. It's here. And then when you drop your body, and it all depends on how you are, the condition you're in when you drop your body. If you drop your body in perfect love, you just continue to live that way. If you drop your body in anger, you're going to continue to live that way. You don't have a way out.
Thank you.
All right. Amazing. Yes, sir.
I had a question. We were talking about standing up for ourselves earlier, right?
Right.
So I was wondering, is it fair to say that standing up for yourself is just not feeling anything within, no matter what the other person does?
No, it's fair to know there's no you to stand up for.
Okay.
There's no you to stand up. Who are you defending?
I have no idea.
Right, there's no one there. We've been taught as childhood and birth, fight for yourself. You better stand up for yourself. So we believed a lie and believed that there was someone to stand up. And so when someone hurt our feelings, didn't know it would come from the thought, but hurt the feeling, we feel like we got to defend. But let them hurt the feeling. It's not you. Let the feeling die.
Okay.
There's no one there to stand up for. There's no one there. Isn't that amazing? We've been living a lie. Satan loved the fact we were living a lie. And God like, what the?
That's true.
You know one thing I love about God? And then I take right here. The one thing I love about God, He doesn't care that we live here and suffer. Have you noticed that? He doesn't care you suffer. You know how we cry, we get lonely, we be afraid, we look for love, we look for friends, we look for a good party, and then we're miserable. Does God act like he cares about that? He doesn't care at all. He and Jesus just sit up there. They have their cafe mocha from Coffee Bean. And once in a while, a donut with those pecans in them. And they look at you, and they're looking down, and they can see the whole world, and they're looking at how miserable you are. And they're like, what the? They're like, and what's your first name? They look at you like going to work. Like, look at Deandra. She up there thinking people think about her. Ain't nobody care about her. Deandra think that, look at her, she's making up a plan. What's she gonna say? How's she gonna act? Because everybody thinks badly of her. They're like, Lord, give me some more of that donut. He'll just let you suffer. You know how he just let you suffer? Because you have agreed with the devil. You don't want God. You believe thought. You don't believe the voiceless voice. You believe thought. You're afraid to even doubt your thought. You're afraid to. You've agreed with evil. When you turn the TV off and you get this weird feeling, you feel lonely, you feel like something's wrong, instead of doubting those thoughts, you turn the TV back on. Or you make a phone call, or you take a walk on the beach. You think that you're agreeing with the devil. Is this making sense a little bit? You're free, folks. Let me take him and then you.
It's just a question about what you're saying now. So the thing about like the TV, you turn it off, you feel the feeling. Just sit there and watch it? Just sit there?
Yes.
And if you sit there all night long, then just sit?
Well, you don't have to just sit there. Meaning don't turn the TV back on to go into unconscious again right away. At least see what the devil is doing to you while the TV is off.
So
all of a sudden you feel anxious about something, or you feel lonely, or you feel fear, or you feel, watch what you're feeling, but don't turn the TV right back on so you can go unconscious. You want to see that that's the devil causing you to feel that way, and it's not you. Because the moment you see it, if you're working on yourself, you're going to say, oh, wow, how come I felt that way all of a sudden? I wasn't feeling that way before I turned the TV off. And you're going to start to see that something else is driving you.
So this might sound silly, but I find myself in that situation, and I try to do that, and I kind of find that I naturally start looking for something to occupy myself, and sometimes
Absolutely.
I just don't really have anything good to do, and sometimes in life
you're going back unconscious, because if you were to see it, you become aware, you be conscious, right? But if you run away from it, you go back into unconscious, which is with the devil. God wants us to be present, right? So if you could just endure it for a while, for a minute, without some type of distraction, you get a little bit more light, and the more light you get, the more you want, and the more you will get. And you start paying attention to other things as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right? This is so much fun. It's fun working on yourself when you know how to work on yourself, really. And then I got to come to you saying, don't forget your reaction to them, all right? How you doing?
Not well.
Not well, meaning?
Things are not good.
I'm sorry?
Things are not good.
Meaning?
Andre moved out of the home.
I'm sorry?
Andre moved out of the home.
You moved out of your home?
Andre.
You did? Andre did? Moved out? And, oh, he moved out of the home. And that's a bad thing?
Yeah.
And what's bad about that?
I mean, he wants to divorce.
I'm sorry?
He wants to divorce.
And what's bad about that?
Oh my God, there's nothing good about that.
What's bad about it?
We have 2 kids together.
I'm sorry?
We have 2 kids together.
And what's bad about that?
It's not good for them to grow up without a father.
And what's bad about that?
They need his guidance.
I'm sorry?
They need his guidance.
You need a daddy? What'd you say?
They do need his guidance.
Speak up a little bit.
Yeah. The kids need his guidance. So do I.
And why do you need him?
I literally don't know anything without him.
You don't know anything without him?
No.
How did you get here? Did he tell you how to put that jacket on this morning?
No.
Did he tell you how to take a, did you take a bath this morning? If you didn't, that's
Shower.
fine.
I did shower.
Did he tell you how to take a bath this morning?
No.
Did he tell you how to get dressed?
No.
Did he tell you how to eat?
No.
Did he tell you how to drive?
No.
But what do you mean you can't do anything without him?
Those are the things that come naturally, but there are so many things that I need his guidance.
Like what? You said there's so many things, what?
There's so many things that I need his guidance.
Like what, for example?
How to raise these kids.
But
He says, you and your kids, go live you and your kids and understand what you're losing.
you don't need a man to tell you how to raise kids. You need God to guide you.
Isn't he the
And-
way to God?
What?
Isn't he the way to God?
No, forgiveness is the way to God. Admitting that you're wrong is the way to God through the heart. When you can admit that you're angry, you are admitting that you're playing God. And when you play God, God can't help you. And so when you can admit that you're wrong, because all of your problems have nothing to do with him, they all have to do with you. And all his problem has everything to do with him and nothing to do with you. It's just that you believe that it does. And so if you work on you by overcoming that anger, the same way the father will help men, he loved his daughter the same way, no less. You must forgive your father. You must forgive your mother. God will forgive you, and he'll change your heart and guide you. Everything you're looking for is in you. Men don't know how to raise children on their own. Look how men are screwing over children. They don't have the love of God. They need the light to raise the children. And it's not them raising the children, it's the light of the Father that's raising the children. You need a man and woman there so you can operate together to make the family function. The woman's job is to be home with the kids and watch home and blah, 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 right? But you only need God to guide you. And you shouldn't hate Andre or anyone. Don't hate your husband. Don't matter what's happening, what he's saying, or what's happening. And I don't know what that is, but don't be angry at him. Just as you can't help yourself, he can't help himself. The devil's playing a game on both of you. He's playing a game. It's inside of you. And the devil got you, oh, he's leaving. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't do anything. I can't be anything. I can't do anything. He's lying to you. If you need a plumber, you call a plumber. If you need a gardener, you call a Mexican. Sorry, Mexicans. Isn't that right? You call a Mexican. You ain't gonna call no black person for a garden work, right? How many people would call a black person to do your garden? See? Only one, Franken. You're not trusting the Father, you're trusting outer sources. And it seems like your whole world falling apart. And if you believe that, and God forbid if you guys don't work this out, you're going to get another man. It's going to be even worse. He's going to look like the right guy because you believe in thoughts. You're consulting with the devil. And the devil tell you, oh, this guy, it didn't work out. Look at this guy. This is a better guy. He treats you well. He makes you smile. He makes you laugh. He got an amazing job. This is a good man. And you get him, and it's the same man. Because your trust is in the devil, not in the Father. Can you tell me one thing that's bad about this?
There's nothing bad about what you're saying. What is so bad for me is that I even knew God through him.
No, you don't.
He was my God. Like,
Right, that's
honestly,
the problem.
Yeah.
And I know who you're talking about, and you're right. He really wants what's right. He's working on himself and all that. But you got to know God through God, not through somebody. God is in you. You ain't changed the people changing. People will change on you. If you knew God through that person, now that person gone, you're going to say, oh, it's so bad, I don't know God anymore. God is with you too. The kingdom of heaven is here.
Josie, I have a question. If all men are weak or all women are evil, which means the families, none of the families will survive eventually. Are they all on the
The
route?
only family that will survive are those that wake up. Because all human beings are weak, evil. And that's why this thing goes on from generation to generation to generation. But that man or that woman that wakes up, their kids have a chance. Because now they're going to pass on the spirit of love. When they correct their kids and everything, they're going to pass on the spirit of love instead of hate. So you start a new generation. God is trying to create love through us. He's trying to create love. But hate is only happening because nobody would admit that they're wrong. Human beings are evil, pure evil, and it's the hardest thing for them to admit that they're evil. Confess your sin. They'll confess the sin, oh, I'm a smoker. I smoke pot. And I've been just trying to stop smoking pot. Oh, Lord. I'm a sex addict, and I just close your ear. We already have enough trouble with you. I'm just a sex addict. Oh, I can't help it. You never hear them say, I am evil, and I don't want to be evil. They pick the nice stuff. I'm a drag queen. Who cares you a drag queen? They never confess true sin that I'm evil. They won't say that. Because that might set them free. So it's of the heart. And so every human being on earth is like that. That's why God said we all must be born again. Salvation of the heart. That's why the whole earth is hell in people on earth. You see hell, nothing wrong but hell, right? Because the heart is hell. Heart is evil. And so all people like that. But when you change, then your kids will have a chance. Because now you're passing on the spirit of love and light, and the kids are going to love that. And God will raise your children. But you don't have to worry. Their father's going to be with them. I don't care what happened with the two of you. This father loves his kids. That's a fact, right? So don't let that be a thought. You need to work on you, admit when you're wrong at heart, you're evil, and work on you and just sort of stop trying to work on anybody else. Stop trying to make a relationship work. You are not supposed to try to make a relationship work. If it doesn't work naturally, it's not meant to be. Because when you try to make it work, it just ends up in hell. You know how fresh and nice relationship starts, right? Everybody loves everybody. Oh, I love you, you love me. And then a week down the road, you hate one another. Where did that love go? Because it was never love, it was always hate. It was never love. You are not supposed to try to make any relationship work, friendships or anything. So stop it. You still think it's so bad? He's leaving. What am I going to do? You better be glad you got the house. You got the house?
It's the least of my concern.
Oh, yeah, because that's a nice house. I'll be partying up in that house. And our medians know how to have a party. Y'all ever gone to a median party? Oh, my God. When you walk in, they start feeding you. And when you walk out, they tell you take the plate. And they party. Don't y'all have the best party? Better than the Jews. Sorry, my Jew friends. But really, you put your eyes on you, admit when you were wrong. You know, hey, husband, I'm sorry, I was wrong. With no excuses. And another thing, and then I got to end. Another thing, do not do what you want, but do not put anyone else in your business. Don't tell your family members, don't tell your mama, don't tell your daddy, don't tell your brother, don't tell your coworker. You make a horrible mistake when you bring other people into your fights and stuff that husband and wife and boyfriend and girlfriend do, because you bring more devil into it. That's all you're doing. And they're going to take sides when they shouldn't take sides with anyone. They're going to take somebody's side. Oh, that's my friend. That's a family. I'm going to take the family side. Stupid. Keep your business to yourself. That's what they used to do in the good old days, and it works. People don't love you. They don't care about you. Keep your family out of it. They don't have the answer. Their lives are screwed up. That makes sense? So we're going to talk some more, I know. But for now, take your eyes off him. If he's gone, just wish him well. You look and see where you went wrong in your heart. Don't go crying to your family members or anybody. Do the silent prayer. And don't worry about the kids, don't have a father. They do have a father. But don't worry about that. You work on you. This is the time to work on you and let him work on himself and see what happens. You're not supposed to be missing anyone when they're gone. You're not supposed to feel fear when they leave. You're not supposed to long for another person when they're gone. You're not supposed to do any of those things. You have made those people a person, your God, and your God is leaving. And you're never going to be happy. Now you're out there looking for another God instead of the true God. All right? Let me do this. That make sense? So stop crying. There's nothing to cry about. Admit you were wrong only to them and work on you. That make sense?
Yes.
And get out of your head how bad it is. Satan tell you that. This is a wake-up call. This is not something bad. Don't call it bad. Satan wants you to think it's bad. God is telling you, hey, this is your time to wake up. You've been listening to the devil. All right? Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Satan, you were reacting to something. Just for the record of it, what were you reacting to?
I understand it. I see different things. It might be different like topics, but I see myself in some of the things that she was saying, specifically Christy, especially with the kids and just different areas, right? It might not be the same, but
right on.
I get it.
Well, stay with it.
Yeah.
Every human being have the same problem, and they think their problem is different. It's the same spirit. The same spirit that's destroying you, making you unhappy, it's the same spirit that's making every human being all around the world. I talk to people around the world, it's the same problem. They have hatred in their hearts and no good family. We were born into sin, meaning we were born into broken families, for lack of a word. Families who are evil. And they corrupt your nature, because kids are innocent. You corrupt their nature with your personality, and they become like you. So work on you. I didn't deal with the biblical question this week. 2 people want me to tell me real quick about the biblical question this week. What's the difference between a human, what is it, James? A Christian and an atheist. I have white people, y'all don't know this because y'all knew. I have white people working for me. Because black people, we know, right? Yesterday I had an all-black crew. See, the black one laughed. It was a mess. All my white people went on vacation. And it was a mess. Remember that, Joel? Huh? You remember that? Joel, you the one who reminded me we had a black crew. Or was it Derek? Derek, come here so they can see you black. It was a mess, right there, Joel?
I disavow this.
You've been listening to hate. Derek, I want a black witness. What happened that day we had an all-black crew? You're dead to Mike. That's my producer. He produced my radio show.
Just some technical difficulties. That's it.
See that? I rest my case. Joel couldn't even do his show. Joel couldn't. It wasn't twirling right. It wasn't tweaking right. And then Derek reminded me, one of them, oh, you got a black crew today. I was like, oh, God. And I went on my knees. No, but anyway. Thank you, Derek. Yes. What's the difference between a Christian and an atheist?
I heard like a lot of different responses. I think people through like the radio shows, and like a couple people gave responses. I'm like, oh, I agree with that, or I agree with that. But ultimately, I don't really think that there's much of a difference between both atheists and Christians, because I think that they're both lost.
Okay.
And they just are picking a different identity to identify with.
Amazing. What's the difference between a Christian and an atheist? Right behind you.
A Christian thinks atheists are wrong, and an atheist thinks Christians are stupid.
That's a good one. That's about right. What's the difference between a Christian and an atheist? The white girl.
I don't really think anything. I think they're kind of the same.
You think they're the same?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Amazing. Duh, what's the difference?
There's no difference. They're the same.
Meaning what?
Meaning neither one of them know God.
Yeah. If you notice, Christians and atheists are lost and they have pain. Real Christians don't have pain. But the Christians have pain just like the atheists. They get lonely, they get angry, they get afraid, they become afraid, they suffer, they cry, they're sad, they're glad. They're just like an atheist. There's no difference. Except one say they believe in God, and it's all a lie, just an idea about God. They don't believe in God. They just believe about God. But they have the same pain that the atheist has. And they judge just like the atheist. Christians judge just like the atheist. No different. So they're no different. Christians or atheists. They're still lost. But you could be found by overcoming the heart and staying present with God. Right here, right now, instead of lost in time or the future. All right? So I'm out of time. I am so out of time. I'm so out of time, time won't give me time. So listen, do this, work on you. You are responsible for you. And all of you in this room. Nobody else is. Your husband is not responsible for you. He's supposed to buy the bacon, bring it home, and you cook it. That's about it. But ladies, you are responsible for you. You have to work on you. No human being can save you from hell. Only you can do that. By working on you, God will save you from it. Up here, right? So work on you. Do this. Forgive your mother and your father. And black people got it bad. They like, mama is God. I ain't gonna forgive my mama. My mama did this. My mama suffer. Your mama was a mess. Forgive mama and dad so God can forgive you. I'm sorry for being angry. I'm sorry for being hateful. And God will forgive you. Do the silent prayer. rebuildingaman.com/prayer. Don't forget to donate. We need your support. And this Thursday night, it's the men forum, right? Is it this Thursday? Yes. Today is the first? Yeah? Every first Thursday night for men only, the third Thursday night for ladies only at 7 p.m. All right, so do the prayer. Keep your eyes on you. Keep them on you. Stay present. God said to pray without ceasing. He simply means do not go unconscious. You're one with the devil when you do that. All thoughts and all lies are. I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me. I learned a lot. All right? Thank you all, and be safe out there. And thank you all for coming in. That was amazing. Oh, amazing. Nice. So,